What's going on, folks? It's Chris, the Dating Doc. First thing you got to do, click that like and subscribe. It takes about 2 seconds, but for a growing channel like mine, it makes my day. It really does when I see them subscriber count go up, knowing that the hard work preparation I put into this pays off. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about dinner dates in 2022, right? As this time, we are almost in the post-pandemic era, and it's important that we know what exactly do we need to do to elevate this dating game, and especially if we meet a special someone. So I'm going to hit it from the top. These are hot takes. You're getting one full recording here. So what are we going to talk about? Should it be the first date? I'm going to tell you right now, dinner date should not be the first date. And a lot of women are going to be like, oh, okay, he's one of those. What do you mean you're not about this? The way that I see it, you're looking at spending anywhere from $20 to $50 on a first date that may or may not go well because someone's communication style, either the person comes off a little too obnoxious, cuts you off mid-sentence, and now a man, because historically a man has paid for these meals, is down $20 to $50 or more depending on desserts and drinks. A true woman will not take advantage of that and will realize, okay, you know what? I just want to get to know this guy and see if I can have a future with him instead of something that I'm going to allude to, which is the free dinner culture. Now, what I do recommend, and I'm going to segue into this next comment, I recommend coffee or walking around or grabbing dessert or maybe even a drink or two above dinner. Okay, because the thing with this is that you are committed. Once you sit down and you're looking at the menu, you're now committed to having to order something, to have to wait for it. If you're starving, okay, you decided you normally eat at 5 p.m., but you got this date at 7:30 or 8. Now you got to wait until that time, and you're hungry, you're distracted by that, but here you are locked in on this date. So I truly do recommend you eat first, okay, when you're trying to make the best first impression. And you go out for drinks, grab coffee, grab yogurt, but something that is very much, not only is it low cost, but you actually get a better desired effect, which is the fact that you get to even focus on your date more because guess what? Cool. It's something you don't feel that pressure of saying, oh man, here I go. Now I got to wait. Now I got to find out that they ran out of steak and I really wanted some steak. Now I got to deal with this first date anxieties. And I'm starving and I have to find seating and I have to make sure I arrive early, and I show up to the restaurant and it's looking packed and I can hear the noises of plates and knives and people talking. And this is my first time meeting this woman after a long day of work. Or for the woman, you've put on all this makeup, dress, all that, fixed yourself up. Okay, the right kind of woman, you really truly are trying to get to know someone. The wrong kinds is trying to get a first free meal, got that. So you all of a sudden go into this restaurant and the same thing, the anxiety of what if this guy is not my type, and now here I am forced to sit an hour or two after I've really fixed myself up, and I'm going to be sitting down for most of this date, right? So yes, go for coffee, go for something light. All right, as I alluded to, all right, and these are hot takes, quick hot takes, because I want to get you this advice as fast as I can. This whole culture of free dinner, wannabe sugar baby, I'm independent and strong, but cash at me type of environment that we currently live in 2022. All right, men are up on game. And for women to assume that men are idiots and they're not aware and they can fall for the game, that is almost over. And I say almost because men are hanging out on YouTube. Men are listening to podcasts. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. They are becoming more and more educated on the toxic side of women. Some of you women complain about being used and abused in the past, but at least you got a free meal, right? That is such an ugly culture. And it is a culture, unfortunately. It's something that is becoming promoted. Right? Even though you talk about feminism, you talk about equality, but you will use a man so you can get a free meal, right? Yet you talk about the job you have and the career you have, but you use, and using includes manipulation, and manipulation requires you to be unethical and have a shady mindset. So if you're in that mindset and you're listening to this, get away from that kind of mindset. You're only going to end up with the same kind of guys who are a reflection of you. So free dinner culture, if you're a man, you know you're up on game on this, avoid it, okay? And then just drive on if that's what she's talking about. Or if you feel like she's a type that just wants to get quote unquote spoiled. If you do dinner, you decide to do dinner, okay? This is obviously if it's an appropriate time, you're feeling the vibes, things are going well. I personally, if it's the first dinner you do, not to be confused with the first date you do, but the first dinner you do, I truly, truly recommend that you avoid anything where you can get food stuck in between your teeth. These could be things like chicken wings where your hands are getting all messy, right? And I got it. A lot of y'all can handle that authenticity, right? And you can throw down with a woman and be like, let's get some wings. Let's watch a game. Honestly, that would be one of my favorite dates. But since we're trying to create a baseline here, a lot of women are going to get very sensitive and insecure if they're wondering if they got something stuck in between their teeth, right? That's kind of a baseline. That's the average woman. She's worried about that. She's going to want something she can cut into. She wants to feel all fancy, right? With the sushi, with the filet mignon, all that stuff, right? But I would want to avoid something that has heavy onions or spices, because if the connection's there, you're going to kiss. Even though you're like, cool, we're attracted to each other, we kiss, it leaves an impact when you kind of smell like onions, when it's not fresh breath, when it's kind of dehydrated, spicy breath, okay? That leaves an impact. Even if the kiss was all right, you're going to kind of let it mentally marinate a little bit. You're like, man, it was all right. Could have been better, but man, his breath was kind of stinky. So again, these are kind of things that you need to be aware of. You need to stick to bland foods at the beginning, okay? And this could be literally like your mashed potatoes, your non-spicy sushi, fish that doesn't overly stink, burgers that aren't overly spicy. Again, this is where you take a risk, because when you're biting into something versus something you can cut, then you face the risk of having things stuck in between your teeth, all right? So think about that. The thing about dinner, okay, that I don't want this to be all negative Nancy. Dinner is a great thing, and it's also a good gauge of the customer service test. Is this guy or gal an asshole? Is he or she going to treat the waiter, waitress, the manager like they're beneath them? Or are they going to have a cool, quick conversation and make the person's day? They're charming, they're naturally friendly. That's a good test. It's almost like the shit test when it comes to customer service. Okay, what I mean by the shit test is that sometimes you put a person through obstacles to see how they're going to respond, right? So when it comes to dinner, this customer service test is a good test to see, okay, how does this person treat others? All right, this last point I'm going to make. Sometimes the more you spend, the more you lose. Okay, don't be a wuss out here thinking, I got to spend $100 to really impress her. You have already typecasted yourself as a desperate, as a wannabe sugar daddy, or you've defined the first impression as, oh, I'm really trying to impress you through my cash. That already leaves a different mental mindset. It paces that first impression differently. The woman's going to be like, cool, man, this guy, if he started like this, I'm expecting this all the time. And I'm going to tell you something right now, ladies. Even if the man has the means to pay for it, if he is smart, he would rather focus not on spending all this money for a dinner, but on making sure that there's certain activities where you get to both communicate and possibly connect. So I don't want you to confuse and think, oh, he didn't spend enough money on me during dinner, so therefore he must be cheap, or he must be financially insecure, any of that sort. You got it wrong. Most of the financially secure men that invest and save, they are careful with the money. Doesn't mean they're cheap. Okay, you'll eventually get the dinner, but they're up on game. The reason they become successful is because they do trend analysis, because they can forecast, because they know people, especially if you're in the sales or corporate sales background, you know people well. So don't fool yourself thinking, oh, he didn't spend enough on me, I don't want him. You're the fool. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Please, please, please help me out. Help a brother out. Give me that HBO special. Click like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. It makes my day, especially if you enjoyed this video. I will do more of these if I see the support. Comment below. Let me know what else I missed. This is The Dating Doc signing out. Peace.